Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Hendry, the acid capitalist, talking to you from the wonderful French Caribbean island of St. Bart's. Now, I've often been described as a maverick, a provocateur, someone who revels in the chaos of markets. But today, I want to explore the life of a curious sea creature, the tunicat. It got me thinking about the state of the lobotomized meme stockholder. They're holding on for dear life. Hodlers or foolish squirts? I've been on the Twitter rampage these last few days, astonished by the brainless rise of MicroStrategy. Stock's gone up fivefold since the beginning of September. A Bitcoin being sold for the price of 3. It got me thinking that those that don't use their heads are liable to lose them. And I would really love it if you're appreciating the show, if you could spread a little bit of love, if you could rate the performance with some of those star buttons, or even leave a comment. Or better still, come on over to my side of the street, subscribe to Patreon or Substack, The Acid Capitalist or The Hugh Hendry Show, and have me at your mercy, receiving my economic essays, my letters from St. Bart's, my investment reports from my old hedge fund days, and exclusive premieres of my videos. Would love to see you all. Okay, let's do this. Let's think of me. No, hold on. Screw that. I'm many things, but I'm definitely... Oh shit, no, stop. There's a word. As you know, I was born in Glasgow, and I began my career not far away. I think 50 miles separates Glasgow from Edinburgh, but it could be 1,000,000 miles away as I entered this posh investment house in Charlotte Square in Edinburgh, saying that remember, I was posted to the Japanese department in September 1990, 9 months after the Nikkei's historic peak at 40,000. And so I probably said something like, that stock is definitely not going up. Definitely. Definitely, not definitely. That's come from my refinement from my hedge fund life in later years. There's a soccer coach in the UK, and he comes from Glasgow, and I recently listened to an interview with him, and boy, he's still saying that definitely. So anyway, imagine the partners in Edinburgh, these posh aristocrats. Bizarrely, they're all rather tall, or maybe I was short, but certainly the fathers of the tall partners were short, because they all had this weird practice of wearing the suits of their dead fathers. They all looked like mods. Their trousers were short. The hem of their trousers was above their ankles. Anyway, I digress. Let me say, for the record, I am not, I never have been, and I never will be, a sea squirt called the tunicat. Now let me tell you why, and reveal who I believe the real tunicats are in today's markets. And before I forget, this is taken from some scribbled notes that I came across the other day as I was cleaning up the memory on my MacBook. A few years ago, God knows when, but I read quite a passable book called The Hour Between the Wolf and the Dog. Now, actually, I've come to learn from my time here
on the French island of Saint Bart's. That's a French expression. Let me see if I can translate that. Le hurle, les tempes, entre les loups et les chiens. Everything sounds better in French. But it's essentially describing the twilight, that beautiful light, especially here in the tropics, just before darkness descends. It's very much the favourite part of my day. The subtitle of the book is perhaps more revealing. It runs, risk-taking, gut feelings, and the biology of boom and bust. I think you can guess why I bought the book. Anyway, back to my narrative. The Nikkei is born with a small brain, complete with an eye spot for sensing light, and an otolith. Literally, I think that means an ear stone. It's a primitive organ which senses gravity and permits the little critter to orientate itself horizontally or vertically on the seabed. So it's essentially a one-eyed blob with some long hair. Now, stop it. I know what you're thinking. That sounds just like me on Instagram, but let's not go there. But if you insist, it is Hugh Hendry official. I am Kite Mart on the IG, if you must know. Now, in its infancy, the Nikkei swims freely about the sea. It's a happy little soul. It's searching for rich feeding grounds. And when it finds a promising spot, it has no second doubts. It's boom. It plants itself. It drills its head. It goes head first into the sea floor. And then, and I kid you not, but it starts to eat its brain, using the nutrients to build a protective outer layer. Makes me think, I don't know why, of an Elon Musk Mars mission and the first steps to colonization after such a long journey. You come down and boom, you're suckers and you're drilling into the surface of Mars. Anyway, back to the little squirt. It spends the rest of its life rooted to the seabed. This lobotomized Nikkei, I gotta say, the little squirt is deliriously happy. And he spends his days, boys, girls, but it spends its days filtering nutrients from the passing water. It lives the rest of its days without the need for a brain. Imagine. Now, scientists believe that the Nikkei is sending us an important message from our evolutionary past. It's telling us that if you don't need to move, you really don't need a brain. That our brain isn't there to make us think deep thoughts or to contemplate the universe. As deliriously happy as that makes me. Nope. The brain exists primarily to help us to move. Remove movement from the equation. Now, plants are the same. They don't have brains either, presumably because they just stay rooted in one place. And so you've no need for your brain. Now, I do have a brain, and that got me thinking. What if trading and philosophical investment rumination, what if that was to be thought of as movement? And if we don't intend to trade ever, what's that term? A hodler? If your only intent is to hold on for dear life, then perhaps you too must ingest your brain. Now, this isn't meant as a takedown of the Bitcoiners. No, I'm taking aim at today's most stock investors. I believe they are two Nikkei in disguise. Joyful types in childhood, dull, boring, and preposterously rich types in adult life. Picture this, the humble financial squirt. In its early days, it's using its brain to charm and cozy in with some Wall Street connections, to get an Ivy League education, to promise to work 18 hours every day, 7 days a week on a meaningless spreadsheet, hunting for that perfect spot A job at perhaps Goldman Sachs, the ultimate squid. But then what? Well, in a move that's, I mean, it's so absurd. I want to say it's genius. Our budding little financial graduate, it eats its own brain. Why? Because you don't need a brain anymore once you're invested. You have the investiture of one of the Wall Street houses. All you have to do now is stay put and capture the beta from the liquidity generated by China's great trade surpluses, which I believe have driven the asset inflation over the last 40 years. This rising tide of sovereign liquidity, it lifts all to Nikkei. The successful investors just persist. No thinking, no moving, no stress. God, I hate them. The ultimate investor today has become the brain-eating squirt. Why? Because the market has made it so. All the brain power, all the decision-making, buy, sell, lighten up, trade, none of it is necessary in today's markets. Election outcomes, buy, sell, no. Nothing essentially changes. Markets just go higher. And so the only move left is no move at all. To stay long, to acquire assets, and gloat at your riches and good fortune. Everything today has been funneled into the right-hand tail of the distribution. This hypnotic belief that our fiat monetary system, aided and abetted by the Chinese sovereign monster and its recycling of its gargantuan trade surpluses into American risk-free securities, that it will always levitate equity prices higher, that the seabed will always be full of nutrients. But I remember you, let's not forget, this isn't some immutable law of nature. Listen, remember the 1970s. Stocks lost an entire decade, 1969 to 1982. The S&P 500's annual compound annual growth rate was an anemic 1.6%. To put that in some context, that's like 90% less than today's, today, the last 10 years average. And this is what the Nikkei, our lobotomized financial competition, this is what they've become accustomed to. But thankfully, this is why we have asset capitalism, because markets, they've got a wicked sense of humor. And every passive squirt, I promise you, one day it's going to find itself stranded in a sea, in a financial sea, in a Wall Street that's gone barren. Because those mammoth Chinese trade surpluses that feed eternally higher US asset prices, that transform a robust entrepreneurial society into a speculative cabal, just how much higher can these prices go? The fortunes of Wall Street hodlers and the eternal rise of the China trade machine, I'm feeling in my gut that it's reached its zenith, that trees don't grow to the sky and all that jazz. Sober reflection. Anyway, stay hungry, my friends, or at the very least, stay awake. Just don't bury your head in the sand. And please, oh please, don't eat your brain, because you're going to need it, I think, in the coming biological trauma of boom and bust that I foresee. Just promise me you'll never trade. You'll never trade? Just promise me. What am I saying? Just promise me you're not one that says, I'm never going to trade my Bitcoin. I'm never going to sell my gold. I'm never going to sell my silver. I'm never going to sell my stocks. Keep moving, my darling squirts. Keep your wits about you. Now let's try and unwind a little. Let's see if we can coax the deity from your mind. Drop the shackles and have you raring to go once more tomorrow when the market bell opens the financial circus. So let's do something crazy. let's get contemplative. I hope it's late. I hope it's dark with you. I hope you're listening. Let's relax the mind. With all this complexity, we have to calm that magic carpet. We have to send this grey matter to sleep. Let me help you. I hope you're sat comfortably. They say it's important that your back is straight and upright. Normally I just lie in bed. I'm not trying to force anything. My eyes are open. And I'm taking some deep breaths. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. I hope your chest is expanding. And as the breath passes through your mouth, the muscles soften. The stress is being released. And with the next exhalation, let's just allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Close your eyes. Come on, I dare you. And here's the cool thing. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Feel the gravity. Feel the energy that's always there, but we're not conscious of it. And relax. I'm sure you can hear sounds. Let them pass. Let them go. Don't pay attention to them. Notice them by all means. But let them pass. And as your attention returns to your complex body, notice how you're sat or you're lying there. How does your body feel right now? Tired? Or do you have a sensation of lightness? The unbearable lightness of being. If you're like me, you've probably got some restlessness in the body. But without trying to change anything, be curious. And in this one, we do the body scanner, starting at the head and moving down with that curiosity to discover how your body feels right now. And now let's shift that attention to the wonders of our breath and the movement that is always there in our body. just where do you feel these undulations, these rising peaks and troughs of the breath within you? Can you feel it? Some form of rhythm. Where is the breath? Is it irregular? I hope not. Is it short, shallow, or is it deep and profound? At this moment, only you can tell the secrets of the eternal echo chamber. And now pursuing this infinite journey of the breath, I just call upon you to stay focused on the breathing. Have you got, I can hear it, I can hear thoughts invading your mind. It's cool. Just let them go. Focus on the breath. Focus on the breath. Still allow those thoughts. Let them come. Let them go. But gently, my friends, just bring ever so slowly the attention back to the breath. In and out. Don't force it. Let it be. Noises everywhere. But where are you? Well done. Let it go. No more focusing on the breath. Let it go. Let it hang out. Let your mind run riot. Let it focus on anything. Okay, my friends. Let's bring it back. Attention. The body. Where's the body? Again, feel the majesty of the weight of your body pressing down. Your hands, your legs, your arms. Come on, let's wake up. Be aware of the space, the sounds, the smells. Do you feel sensations? I don't know. And if you're ready, I beseech you, open your eyes. You have completed an acid capitalist magic carpet ride. Your grey matter is ready for the challenges that await.